Okay, let's get started.
Just raise your glasses high. This one's sweet.
Turtle time.
Well, Antonia Gorga must have been on Santa's nice list this year because she apparently got $10,000 worth of presents. That's right, Antonia Gorga got a Prada wallet, a Nintendo Switch 2, and Accolade sweatpants. The only thing close to coal in her stockings were the coal-colored Skims Soft Lounge sleep set. Amy, what did you think about this huge Christmas haul for Antonia Gorga?
Damn, I'm jealous. And she got to spend time with, her whole entire family.
I know. She was beaming in this video. She was doing an unboxing of all of her presents for Instagram Live. And she goes, I just got done seeing Teresa having the best Christmas and look at all this shit I got. So pretty huge Christmas for them over there.
Yeah, I saw that people were also tabulating what Alabama Barker got for Christmas, and some of it included lingerie from her father.
Really? Wow, that is awesome. From Travis Barker,
Yeah.
obviously. That's great. Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess
Weird
it's like
stuff going on over there.
it's like, where do we draw the line? Like, do we get lingerie and stuff? But there were other gifts.
Yeah, some other luxury items as well.
Wow. Oh my gosh, Travis Barker. I mean, say what you will, but he's rich as hell.
You have to say it.
Yeah, you have to say. I saw some Alabama Barker news percolate up on TMZ. Maybe it was the lingerie scandal, but I don't pay too close attention just because she never got on my radar. I'm kind of like, I'm a fan of your dad. I don't really engage with whatever the hell you're doing.
Yeah, she's an interesting figure. If anyone ever wants to start a comment thread, or I guess I would have to do it, but I have a lot of thoughts on that entire family. Kourtney is my arch nemesis of the Kardashian family, and I have plenty of ongoing thoughts.
That's great. Of course. Oh my gosh, we need to have a Kardashian themed episode one day. Did that season end?
Yeah. I think the last one was like on Christmas Eve or something.
Wow. Yeah, I would love for you to just tell me all about the Kardashians and how you feel, and especially this Kourtney shit. I feel the same way as you when I watch Kardashians, when I just peep in with one eye on it when Megan's watching it. I'm like, I like Kim.
Yeah, I know.
Cool.
It's one of those things where I know that we're headed into a climate where it's hard to celebrate billionaires and the way they live their lives is kind of gross. But I'm like, I'm grandfathered in. There's nothing I could do.
Yeah. And you have personal stake in them becoming billionaires. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just like, people are always hating on, I've already talked about this, but like they're always hating on Kim getting her law degree. They were dogging on her for failing the bar. And I'm like, okay, well, when it's not Kim Kardashian, all anyone says is how hard it is to pass the bar and that everyone fails the first time. But then when it's Kim, they go, she has all the resources in the world and she can't even pass the bar. And I'm like, okay, well, which is it?
Yeah, seriously. People, if you, I've already said this before, don't get me started, but if you hate someone, you can literally find absolutely anything they do. They could breathe wrong and you say that's horrible. Yeah. So people have double standards and there's hypocrisy. Remember when Shane Simpson didn't pass the bar, people were like, it's so hard. He needs more time. He can't just go in there. Look, imagine the stuff that he's doing. He doesn't have enough time to spend doing it. And then when it's Kim, it's like, oh God, you're a billionaire and you can't even pass it.
Me and Jimmy always joke that people have very shallow opinions. Like, people think they can just get away with their opinion being like, don't get me started on the Kardashians. Yeah. And I'm like, they're an indelible part of culture at this point. Like, there's obviously more to it. It's interesting on some level.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, of course. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it's just like, it's the exact same as people just dismissing Bravo in its entirety as being like garbage or whatever. I've told you this maybe 500 times, but you'll never forget the feeling I felt at the Clippers game when they said, and now look at the Kardashians. And everyone booed for about 5 full minutes. And I felt so bad. I didn't even know them at all, but I'm like, no one deserves to be booed like that right in front of them. It was so sad.
I never know what I'm going to get in like TikTok comment sections. Like, sometimes I'll open it and it'll be pure hate. Mm-hmm. Like, Kim sucks. Can't believe she didn't pass the bar. Loser. Blah, blah, blah. And then other ones will be like, wow, like, love this family.
Yeah, it's so sweet. It's so divided, just like everything we talk about on Bravo. Who knows? People are like,
Yeah.
they hate our takes and stuff. Let's leave hate in 2025.
Yeah. What if, I know that we always talk about stuff and we're like, I know I've said this a million times. I don't think it's possible for us to get through 2026 without repeating ourselves.
Oh, I don't think so either. I only have about 70 things that I can say. Yeah,
I know, and we talk like 3 times a week. It's like, what a joke.
yeah. I was thinking of, yeah, you totally. Well, I was thinking, you led me to think of this, which is that Kim is going to pass that bar. And what the hell are people
I
going to
know
say?
she will.
She's doing it in 2026 for sure. Keep taking it. If what's his name from Catch Me If You Can do it the first time. But no, seriously, Kim is going to pass the bar, and then I don't know what they'll say. The bar is too easy. You got to raise the
Yeah.
bar. But
Raise the bar.
she's going to do it. But you and I have a lot of piping hot news that we need to get into. I think the first one I want to talk about with you that I said needs to lead the top of the docket is Heather Dubrow sent a very cryptic Instagram to the world where she had champagne in her hand, and it was kind of it looked like she was like Diane Keaton and Annie Hall sort of dancing around, and champagne was bubbling up out of her glass, and it said, "Here's to the new year, a lot of new stuff is going to be happening for me." And then it had 3 huge diamonds next to it, and this for you and I mean, like, I get confused by a lot of stuff, and I find stuff too hard to parse. This was easy for me. 3
Yeah.
diamonds, Heather Dubrow. She already talked about wanting to go on Beverly Hills. I thought, oh my God, this is a slam dunk in terms of interpreting things. Did you
Right.
think something like that?
Yeah. Plus, Terry commented, "Diamonds are forever."
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Wait, unless they're talking about James Bond, like Amazon being able to finally get a James Bond movie off the ground.
Yeah.
Other than that, I can't imagine what they're saying except that she's going to get the coveted diamond that she wanted so bad.
Tamara said, "Love you, my friend. Happy New Year."
Whoa, cryptic as well, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess, I'm fine with her doing that. I'm almost like, I wonder if she'll have to become, I know she's always having to fight her ass off on Orange County to defend her position, but do you think she'll have to start all over again on Beverly Hills, or she's like rich enough that they'll sort of be like, okay, or do you think they'll give her a hard time?
I don't know. It's really hard to imagine her in this sort of alternate universe that I've never seen before. I do think she's sort of big fish in small pond, no offense to everyone there, where she's sort of at this vaulted level, and they do take shots at her because she's so rich and powerful that they love just getting little darts thrown at her. And I really don't know how that will translate if Heather is sort of less interesting and less powerful on Beverly Hills, what she's going to bring to the table in terms of drama or dynamics there, but it's worth a shot. I think it's worth a shot. I think that OC was so kind of horrendous last year in terms of casting that anything they do in terms of a shakeup is going to really help, especially if you have Vicky coming back. So it's worth a whirl, I would say, to have Heather over there in Beverly Hills. Why not?
That's what I say.
Why the hell not? But it seems, I mean, this is as clear cut as a diamond, I would say, that this has to be what she's referring to for the new year. That she's on the cast.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that they let her tease it like that.
I know. She would have put oranges, 3 oranges, if she was going to be returning to OC. So that's
definitely
worth it. I can't even predict. Maybe when I have more brain power, I would predict what she's going to be like on there, but I can't even imagine it. I think it's going to be good. Her and Kyle. Hey.
Well, it's interesting that it's weird to think about because we're just getting started on the current cast. So it's like, give me a second. I don't want to think about next year already.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah, I feel that way too. It's like, I'm just learning out who Amanda Francis is, the manifesting money person.
Right. So, well, more to come on that, but that's our first update of the new year.
But do you want to, this perfectly segues, if you want to segue it, this next news story is piping hot as well. Hot
chocolate.
This is hot chocolate on New Year's Eve night, right?
in Aspen.
In Aspen, speaking of, well, so you teed it up. Kyle, apparently Kyle Richards and Mauricio. This is true. I guess they had a little kind of cozy, intimate gathering at the
Rendezvous.
rendezvous at their house in Aspen. It was cozy. They were bundled up. They put on, I think, a movie I saw. I thought it was Wolf of Wall Street, possibly. I didn't know what it was, but they were kind of cozy, and someone reported, they immediately called TMZ and they said, guess what? Kyle and Mauricio were warm and fuzzy and cozy for an entire New Year's Eve night. And they quote that they took out of it was, they are very clearly back together, which I thought was huge. What did you think about that?
Crazy. I mean, it looked like a baller party. It was, I think, Kate Hudson's party, and like Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell were there. Kim Kardashian was
Whoa.
there. A lot of celebs. Rachel Zoe was there. So I'm like, if you're ever gonna do it, that sounds like a great place.
That is so cool. Wow. Was Wyatt Russell there, did you say?
Yes.
Whoa! Oh my God. Wyatt Russell, his mom and his dad.
They were all like banging drums and like doing a fire dance. It was kind of crazy.
Oh my God. I didn't even see, sorry, I'm conflating two parties. I saw this, sorry, I don't know what,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
There
I
was
saw-
like a TikTok that their daughter posted that was like, don't get me started on my cute ass parents. And it was
Yeah.
them watching something together. And then I think it was on the same trip. And then New Year's Eve, they're at that baller party.
Okay. All right. I didn't even, all right. Well, I didn't even see that cool party, but so they were so warm and cozy, you know, and whether or not it was really cold inside the party and they had to hold each other for warmth, we'll never know. But it sounds like if they're at a party on New Year's Eve and they're kind of feeling those feelings, that this is a cute, sweet sign that maybe they're like, I'm tired. Mauricio's like, I'm tired of dating people from F-Boy Island. I want to be
Right.
back with my former wife. You
That
know,
would be wild after this much time, but hey, I'm here for it. Talk about next season plot lines.
oh, that's going to be huge. Did you see? I really do think it was Wolf of Wall Street. I don't know if that TikTok is still available, but I really do think they were gathered around a fireplace watching that scene where they're like shaving that person's head for money. Do you remember? That's kind of a weird New Year's Eve movie.
Due for Rewatch has that beautiful Rob Reiner role.
Oh, oh my God, of course. Yeah, he's the guy. He's the accounting guy. He goes, what the
Leo's
hell?
dad.
He's playing Leo's dad. Oh, of
Yeah.
course. Oh, because he hires his. I was like, what the hell? He hires his dad to help him with the accounting, and Rob Reiner's like, you know, you're spending a lot of money on shaving people's heads,
He goes, $26,000 on sides.
and yeah, that is so silly. Wow. Well, speaking of wonderful movies,
Oh my God. I didn't tell you, I had a few celebrity encounters while I was gone on vacation.
Really?
That should have been piping hot at the top. I have to share, because why not? What else are we going to talk about?
Of course. What the hell? Yeah. Oh my God. Who?
Okay, so I went to Maui the day after Christmas with my family. Immediately, getting on the plane, I go, that's Gayle King's daughter, Kirby Bumpus. I get on the plane, Gayle King.
No
Seated.
way.
I go, she's going to Oprah's house on Maui. Fuck yeah. We got off the plane, the car, the driver had the sign up, Gayle King, and I was like, please take me with you, please. This is also while I was waiting for baggage and Gayle was milling around. This is not interesting to anyone except for the Kardashian heads that I mentioned earlier, but Kim's like CEO, Tracy Romulus, was on with her whole family, and she was flying coach. I'm just saying, I think she's like the CEO of Skims, like
Whoa.
very high up in Kim Kardashian's org, and she was in coach.
Whoa. Wow.
So I'm just saying,
That's huge.
that could be interesting to like 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
And then when I was in Maui, I was at the Wailea shops, like the little mall there. Paris Hilton,
No way.
her husband, I noticed him first because he was like making a scene.
The guy, that one guy, Chris?
Yeah, what's his name? It's like,
Chris?
no, it's like a weird name.
Oh, hold on. Paris Hilton husband. Oh my God, I watched that show where they were getting married. He was really, oh, I'm sorry. Carter Room. Carter
like
Rum.
Reum.
Yeah. He's kind of a weird guy, no offense.
strange.
Yeah.
But I noticed him because I was like, what's going on here? And it was like the center of the outdoor mall had like a tree and stuff. And he kept being like, do you see the elf? Do you see the elf? And I was like, what is this like activation? And then my eyes focused. I was like, Paris Hilton's husband? And then I looked over and it was Paris Hilton in her little like motorcycle cap she always wears. And I was like, holy shit, it's the whole family. And he was kind of turning the mall because people wanted pictures. He was operating almost like a meet and greet, like getting people in and out to take pictures with her. And then I think enough people got what they wanted and let them free.
Wow.
But I was watching from afar, but I was like, wow.
So that's amazing. So did you see the elf? Do you see the elf was sort of a distraction to get people away from taking
over
photos with
there.
their You see that elf? Do you see that elf? He's under the tree. He just ran away into the tree. That's amazing. What a good distraction for people to sort of not get photos with Paris. Well, I have so much stuff to say. I mean, you really you unbottled something. Remember when Paris told Kathy that she had a child and the child was available for her to view right then on that show? That was kind of shocking. Do you remember
I
that?
know. Yeah. I mean, that show's kind of good.
Yeah,
Paris
it was awesome.
in Love or whatever.
Yeah, Carter was screaming and squealing, and like he was so mad and pissed. He was like, "Take my last name." He was sort of uncomfortable for me to watch. I was like, "What the hell is going
he
on?"
kind of like gives me scareds.
Yeah, but you got to capture him in sort of a sweet moment of
Yeah, I couldn't determine if it was giving like weird stage husband where he was like trying to like utilize fame, or if he was just being nice and trying to make it as pleasant as possible for her to be nice to her fans and get out of there.
I would have pulled a fun like surprise on him. I would have been like, "No, Carter, I wanted a photo with you." You know what I mean? And he'd be like, "Oh my God." I don't know if he'd like it, but kind of interesting.
I know. I don't really have with Gail. I'm going to be honest. I broke protocol. And when I passed her on the plane, I said, "I love you, Gail."
No way. That's great.
And she said, "Nice to see you."
No. Oh, all right. Well, she didn't love you, but that is so sweet of her to say. Okay. I was thinking how iconic it would have been if you would have jumped in her car.
Please, can I go? Oh, I won't dox, but me and my family, my sister has a friend who lives in Maui, who like moved from New York, has a whole new lifestyle now in the like countryside, and they gave us a little hat tip of where Oprah lives near them. Like,
Whoa.
And we kind of got lost and turned around, and then Google tried to make us take a road that was chained.
Really?
But I know essentially where Oprah lives, and I saw her gate with a wreath on it.
Oh, that is amazing. Oh my God.
So-
Well, you went nuts. A lot of people are going to Maui. A lot of people spent Christmas in Maui.
Yeah, apparently Paris always goes there. Someone I was talking to at the bar said that she goes like every Christmas.
Oh my God.
So-
Well, that is awesome. Well, congratulations. I mean, I think that's really cool. That's a lot of stuff.
Gail was big for me.
That's huge. I can't believe that the drivers are allowed to put their real names on it, because I would feel like people would be swarming, being like, I'm going to stand right here until Gail King arrives. You know what I mean?
Right. Usually, like, what would your fun pen name, nom de plume, be?
Oh, that's you're putting me on the spot. Carter. I don't know. I'd have to really think about that.
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't be too far off. Maybe one of my favorite characters in fiction.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'll think about this for the rest of the episode.
I just put two together, like a mix. Ripley Dubrow.
That is so cool. The unfortunate part of that is people will be like, "I'm standing here no matter what," because I gotta see whose name is
Who
Ripley
is that?
Dubrow. That's really cool. You know what I was thinking of? I was thinking of how I couldn't remember Tobey Maguire's name on Christmas Eve, and I was tossing and turning, and I had forgotten his name 2 months earlier, and I was like, why the hell can I not remember Tobey Maguire's name? And then when I finally looked it up because it was haunting me, I was like, it's kind of an odd name. Toby.
Like it doesn't sound right.
I just don't think of him as a Toby because I don't know anyone named Toby, and I confuse him with Topher Grace. And then I was like, and then Maguire. I was like, I don't know. Anyway, Ripley Dubrow made me think of like just two kind of names where like they don't know. I don't know if they should exist together. But anyway, enough of this. It's been fun. Great news. We don't need to talk about Stassi Schroeder doing Tell Me Lies podcast, right?
I don't know what that is.
Me neither. I don't know any of this Hulu garbage. No offense to them. But I think that what is worth talking about is that Stassi has leapfrogged absolutely every single other television personality that Hulu has, and they have anointed Stassi as the de facto ambassador for all reality television. That's huge, and just shows what a sort of, not exciting pool of talent Hulu has, the fact that Hulu could rise the rank or Stassi could rise the rank so quickly at Hulu to be like the reunion host for everything and podcast host. They are really loving Stassi over there.
Yeah. It does feel a little delayed. I feel like for the past couple years, we've been like, what is she doing? And then she started doing the Vanderpump Villa stuff. She started doing the Mormon Wives hosting. And now I feel like she's really ready to work again. Maybe she just wanted her kids to be a little older to start really kicking it into high gear. But I feel like she like wants to work now.
Yeah, I think so too. So good. Congrats, Stassi. We don't know what the hell that is.
We won't elaborate further, but congrats.
But I think, and I think that I know that Bravo executives are shaking their heads a little bit. Like, Hulu is just basically like Bravo Light now. Like, it's just, they're trying their best. I mean, from what I've seen, it's pure shit. And then they are lucky to have Stassi, over there as a personality. And Bravo's probably like, well, damn, we should have done something. But I don't know. Maybe Bravo has so much talent and Hulu has none that they're fine letting Stassi go.
I guess so. Sad.
All right. Well, good. Sad. All right. Okay. Let's talk first about Salt Lake City, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, which I thought was a very funny episode. Kind of easy to get back into. Vanderpump Rules a little less so.
Right.
But Salt Lake City, this was fun.
Still in Greece.
I think we're 5 episodes in Greece. Is this some sort of record for longest trip in history?
It feels long. But it's like, why not, I guess.
No, I love it. I mean, spend the full season in Greece if you get stuff like this, but I feel like this is the 4th episode, and then the finale is still possibly in Greece. We haven't done that Greek tragedy in the Parthenon that they're going to do, where they wear the dramatic masks and they do Sophocles plays. I'm like, my God, we still have so much shit. But so this was more like, I don't know, this was like an off day for them, but they still captured so much. Like, all they did was go to lunch and a spa and a dinner. I almost felt like if they didn't want this trip to be 4 episodes long, this is what they would have cut. But it was so worthwhile and fun that they're like, we're keeping this shit in. Angie bumping into breakfast carts and
she's got to get it together. I did that fun life hack where I downloaded the episode on my iPad on the Peacock app and watched it on the plane.
Whoa.
And I was like in heaven.
Were you laughing?
Yeah, I was cracking up. I was like, this is so perfect. I don't know if that is millennial coded, but that I'm still amazed that you can download
It's so cool.
episodes. Like, I'm more surprised that they allow it. Like, that almost every single app lets you. That feels like too nice of them.
I know, it's true. I remember Netflix did that first, like maybe 5 years ago, and I went on a plane flight and I downloaded Breaking Bad. It's like, how the hell am I allowed to do this? But it's great. It's nice for flying on a plane that they let you do that. And I don't think you looked millennial, probably. They're probably like,
I looked millennial watching Confessions of a Shopaholic.
What's that?
It's that Isla Fisher movie from 2009.
Oh, wow.
Post-financial crisis rom-com. And I'll just share very quickly that it's very funny to me that her dirty secret the whole time, like the old rom-com trope of that, like something has to ruin everything she has going.
Mm-hmm.
Her big secret, because she gets a job at a financial magazine and falls in love with like a financial expert, her big secret is that she has $9,000 of credit card debt.
Whoa, really?
I'm like, girl, we can work this out. That's really not that bad.
Well, so is it because is she a shopaholic and so she's good at it, knowing that she's spending her money in some might say a frivolous manner, but then to know she has debt is kind of scandalous.
Yeah, because she's supposed to be a financial expert now working at this magazine, and it turns out that she's fleeing a collections agent. Styled by Patricia Field, Sex and the City, and Devil Wears Prada. So fun clothes. Recommend. It was a fun watch.
That is awesome. That's great. Well, I'm gonna watch. I want to watch that. Yeah, I'm gonna watch.
It's on Netflix.
Really? I like Isla Fisher. Is that her name? Isla
yeah,
Fisher?
She's cute.
Yeah, she was good in Curb Your Enthusiasm. Did you ever see that one with Clive Owen? She cries.
I was just realizing that my sister was watching Curb the entire flight, and I was like, there's so much that has happened on this fucking show. I can't keep it straight.
Oh, it is so awesome. Well, okay. Really quick tangent. I watch seasons 1 through 8 more than any other show in my life.
Okay.
I know it like the back of my hand. I've seen every single episode. I love it. It's just the most fun thing in the world. And then I have not seen 9, 10, 11, and 12. I think there's 4 full seasons since he came back after the 10-year hiatus. So I have not watched that enough. So there are scenes that I don't know at all. Like in the Albert Brooks documentary, there's a full episode dedicated to Albert Brooks being a COVID hoarder. And I saw the clips in the Albert Brooks documentary, and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, I need to go back and watch it. And then the Isla Fisher thing is that she gets paid to cry to make people think that their performances are really good in plays. So she's a hired crier to be like, oh, this guy's bringing it emotionally. It's making me cry. She was good in
That's
that.
very Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, right. Because Larry David was sort of, I guess, a part of Seinfeld. Well, this Salt Lake City episode starts with Angie. Like I said, she crashes really hard into a guy that's bringing a bunch of muffins and croissants into the house. And I guess the tray went right into her face, and it looked way worse than I thought. I thought that she maybe it was sort of a comical, spilling of muffins, and she was covering her face because she was shocked that she did it. But it turns out that the tray went right into her face, and she had like a cut in it and a fat lip possibly from it.
That's like my worst nightmare. I felt so bad for the guy.
Yeah.
Like all the little ceramics crashed everywhere. And then it turns out that she got sliced. And I was just like, damn, Angie, she's never looking where she's going. This is like her 3rd injury in just this season alone.
I know. Yeah. The broken finger. She goes, this is way worse than when I broke my finger when I was wearing that shark outfit or whatever. Yeah, I felt bad for the guy. And you wish you had the camera sort of on him because it looked like he had sort of a series of unfortunate accidents. Like I think he was holding Heinz ketchup or whatever, and he squeezed it too hard because you could see the ketchup line sprayed all around him and stuff. So kind of a bunch of horrible shit. And they have to do medic, fourth wall break. Everyone, stop what you're doing now. But they don't talk about it for the rest of the episode. And then Meredith and Lisa have a little talk by the pool. Lisa says, I love my makeup so much here. I want to take this makeup artist back to America with me. And Meredith goes, I'm going to have fun for the rest of the time. I slept like a rock.
Yes. It turned out they all had a fun party time after the drama at that dinner where they were talking about a high body count hair and stuff. They actually just had a good time after that.
They were playing that game that you talked about, the getting a cup off the ground with only your mouth.
Right.
Did you see that? They had like a Lisa. They were playing a bunch of games. They were doing dancing, and then Lisa was able to pick up a plastic cup with her mouth. I've never played that game before.
No, we have a lot of games we need to figure out.
Yeah, definitely. And then speaking of things that are not games but are things that you can do, activities, a person arrives named, I forget who their name is, but they come with a bunch of colored dresses, and apparently, I don't know if you knew this or if you've ever done this, I had no clue, but apparently a cool thing to do is wear a full color dress of one color, or outfit, I assume, not a dress if you want to wear a shirt and pants or something. And then you stand in front of the white stairs of Iha, I believe. And it makes for beautiful photos. I guess the color on the white stairs. Did you like that activity?
I didn't. I also didn't know that was a thing. It was perfect for the Housewives. It was basically they were doing a promo shoot. They could have used it for the key art.
Totally.
Yeah, but it was kind of like bridesmaids dresses where they were all the same style and all these different colors, and they had to choose their colors. And they were sort of those wrap dresses where you can tie it any number of ways. And Heather's train gets caught on the door and it pulls, and then her tit flopped out.
Yeah.
And she was like, nip slip.
Fully. Yeah, it was it was fully out.
Also, Mary, I think, she wore something under her dress. I couldn't tell if it was like a scarf or like a top under. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess Mary is modest in her clothing. Like she doesn't show skin. I never really thought about it until I saw that she wouldn't wear that dress as is.
It's exactly what I thought. I didn't know it until I saw it when she was wearing, stuff on her arms. And I was like, I've never seen Mary's arms, I guess. Probably not.
Like, is that true?
If
you never think about it because they're always wearing coats and stuff.
Right. It's cold. But so if anybody's ever seen Mary's arms, but I don't think we have. And so she wears a sort of tan outfit under her dress, it looks a little different than everybody else wearing the dresses. And then they talk about Whitney and Heather can't stop themselves from talking about Meredith. They're like, whoa, remember how horrible she was yesterday? She's kind of nice today. When do you think she's going to get shitty again? And they're kind of laughing about it. And then they split up 2 groups. This was interesting. Stuff really starts to go down. We split up these trips. Lunch for 3. Mary, Bronwyn, and Whitney, and then spa for the rest. And then let's talk about that lunch for a second between those 3. What the hell did you think about this?
Yeah, Mary, Bronwyn, Whitney, it immediately turns into a conversation about Meredith. Mary says she's worried, talking about her mood swings, and that she needs help. She says she's obviously going through something that's affecting her mental, and she brings up her son and how she's dealt with this before, and she said the pattern is patterning, and she's getting upset. She cries.
Yeah, and Whitney does too. She's like, I really love Meredith too. I think about her all the time, and I'm crying about this. This is something that I've been alluding to, obviously not so subtly, telling her right to her face, Meredith. So I want to be clear. I want to be clear. They are saying that Meredith has either a drug or alcohol addiction. That's what they're saying.
They won't say it, but obviously she's alluding to her son, which has the same problem. And they've already, Whitney, I think, is the only one that's straight up said that. I will say, I don't think we quite pointed it out last week, but there was it might have been 2 weeks ago when Meredith was passed out at the on the bus when they were talking about code 2 or whatever.
10-2, yeah.
10-2. She was sort of doing a weird thing with her jaw that was druggish in vibe, and they obviously left that in for a reason, because it was weird. So I'm just curious if I didn't expect for the season to hone in on this.
Yeah. I'm until I'm proven wrong. I think that this is sort of a very serious allegation to level against someone, unless they really know that she is, taking pills and she has no control over them, or drinking and mixing with pills. I think this is about as serious an allegation as you could ever make against someone on a Bravo show. So I was a little, my monocle fell off a little bit. I was just like, what the hell is going on? This 3-person lunch, and Bronwyn clearly did not want to take part in any discussion about addiction or alcoholism or whatever, drug addiction that Meredith might have. But they really sort of couched it in their deep feelings and love for Meredith is why they need to get to the bottom of this. Until I see the proof, I have to assume they know more than me, and they see her jaw doing that stuff, and they see how she's and all the barfing that she's doing. Maybe they know more than me, but I don't know. I'm not ready to paint Meredith with that brush yet. And then Bronwyn kind of gets a miscue going on. I felt like she didn't know what the hell she was doing. She didn't want to partake in that conversation. She goes, but guess what? I've got something that I need to say about Meredith. And you could tell Whitney was looking at her like, wait, we just had a beautiful scene. They're going to cut right after this. What are you talking about? This is it. We just cried over Meredith's, potential emotional troubles. And then Bronwyn goes, guess what? In New York, I went to an Italian restaurant, and Seth came up to Todd and he said, I'm with an investor over here. And it was a female investor. And so Bronwyn thought that was uncomfortable. But my question for that was, why would Seth go, hey, look at me. Hey, Todd, I love to see you. I'm with an investor over there. Couldn't he have just escaped that New York restaurant if he was cheating on his wife without greeting Todd?
Well, that would have been extra shady if he just slunked away with a woman.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that if Bronwyn and Todd had seen him first, you have to excuse. I don't know. Is anybody cheating out in public like that? At a restaurant
well,
in
if your
New York?
Wife is in a different city.
But in
Why
New York
would you
is
think
where
you would run into Bronwyn?
Well, of course, but in New York City, I mean, in New York City, that's where they live, I think.
Crazier things have happened.
That's true, but I'm watching Mad Men, and John Hamm never just cheats out in public. Don Draper.
He doesn't?
No, he goes in a bedroom. He goes up the elevator. He goes, excuse me, I need to go get a pack of cigarettes, and he goes up to the elevator to have sex with Linda Cardellini. It's not,
nice.
it's not like, I just think that this is pretty brazen. And I also felt like it was such a downgrade from what they were talking about. And Bronwyn just wanted a little piece of it to throw some cheating in there.
the Seth thing is like not exciting to me because I don't really care. But yeah, they're all like, she's being very defensive about her marriage. So we'll see. It's just another thing to aggravate her about.
Yes.
And then, yeah, things are a little lighter over at the spa. They're in these little pools, and Brittany wanted to be playful, and she started splashing everybody, and Meredith and Angie got really pissed about it.
Oh yeah, she was splashing. Not sure why. I wouldn't be splashing in a spa. No one wants that water up in their eyes. The first shot she did went right in Angie's eye, like
Right.
perfect, just a perfect water spill right in Angie's eye, and then all over her hair. And I really feel like this turned Lisa so against Brittany, this splash, that Lisa is like, she's dead to me for the rest of the episode. Like, she really goes in on Brittany after this. She can't let the hair shit go. And then she even brings up the alcoholism rumors later. I was like, oh my God, I've never seen Lisa. Well, I don't know. Maybe she turns on people all the time. But I was like, whoa, this is a shocking turn. But they get into that quiet zone after, because everyone's like, you kind of ruined the mood. You got my hair all crunchy. Like, you've been splashing. It got in my eyes. This water's gross. And then this was kind of pure like a comedic moment where I was like, this is going to be the highlight reel for a lot of people. They whisper as they argue, and Lisa's the one who cannot let it go that Brittany splashed a bunch of water into Angie's hair, and talks about how much work Angie puts into her hair and how horrible that was.
Right. Yeah. Brittany does bring up a good point that on the yacht that they did dump an entire carafe of water on her head, which is way worse.
Yeah, that was horrible. I couldn't even believe it when I saw it again. I was like, oh my God, a full icy water all over her hair and a body. It's true. But Lisa's like, we're too old to do that kind of stuff. That was silly. And then Brittany goes, well, the real reason I'm so upset and why I like to splash is because none of you cared that I had the worst Mother's Day of my life, and you never asked if Olivia called me. And then they show, which I couldn't believe it was a flashback, but I only think it's because they thought that this was possibly heightened. But Brittany was crying on the way home after doing all those dances at the restaurant. She's like, I had the worst Mother's Day. Nobody checked on me. And then you making fun of the high body count trademark was the worst thing that could have happened. And Lisa goes, I thought you were fake crying last night, which is, that's a huge accusation to make against someone too.
Shots fired.
Yeah, majorly. And Heather goes, no, it wasn't fake. And then Lisa's like, well, I just think you're like overly dramatic about stuff. So Lisa is really gunning for Brittany in this moment. And then the spa person this was interesting about this episode. The people, the spa person and also the restaurant person we're going to see later, they don't like this at all. They don't like reality television filming in any of these places, and they have no tolerance for people disobeying the rules, which I thought was refreshing because we've seen so much chaos and turmoil in every establishment in the United States, and people turn their heads toward it. But this was like, no, stop it. People are complaining. You know what I mean? Like almost getting kicked out everywhere. Yeah, get a grip over here. This is silent time at the spa.
Right. Yeah. Meredith gets pissed off with the Brittany shit and leaves. And Brittany's like, go ahead, disengage. You can leave. And Angie's like, stop using everyone else's famous lines. They're not yours.
Yeah, funny. Call back to what they were talking about before, about her trademarking high body count. Yeah, Meredith runs off. I don't really remember why, because she's like, why did you disobey your own rules? Like, you're a hypocrite for calling out my love for my son when you're emotional about not getting a call about your son. But then the spa person gets really pissed and goes, please be quiet. Like, no more.
Right.
Okay, then there's a little quick scene where you can tell Heather like wants to know what happened. Whitney and Heather are inspiring in a way to like see how they're going to land the plane in terms of the Meredith drama and what they're trying to get across. So it's this kind of question where Heather doesn't want to be all the way in on whatever Whitney's accusations were, but Whitney clearly tells Heather that there are more people on their side, that there is something very deeply troubled about Meredith. And Heather's like, well, finally we are saying it, if even Mary acknowledges it.
Right. Yeah. So more to come there. And then they're on the bus to dinner or whatever. And this is where Lisa decides to go rogue and be like, Brittany, like, were you barfing on the yacht? Were you just binge drinking and barfing on the yacht? Are you an alcoholic? And it's like, where is this coming from? Like, it's such old news now.
I know. It really made me, not a great moment for Lisa. I hate when obviously someone has been the recipient of a pile on, and then they are like, oh, I need to point the ire somewhere else, so I'm going to be the person that starts it now or perpetuates that. I don't like that at all, especially when Lisa, I think, and Brittany were getting along.
Right.
So it was weird and out of nowhere. And I was like, is this really just because she splashed Angie's beautiful, beautiful hair that takes an hour for a fresh blowout to be done? And then it really points out the hypocrisy of calling someone an alcoholic when Meredith is, thinking that's the most shocking allegation in the world and can't tolerate it for 1 second, to then immediately turn that back on Brittany for Lisa to be like, are you one? I heard you were barfing, and then once the barf was out of your mouth, you'd put vodka back in it, like repeating that pattern over and over on the boat trip. And so it kind of, everyone I think is rightly pointing out, like, Lisa, this sucks. What the hell are you doing? Like, Whitney now can use that against Lisa. Heather is kind of like, what are you doing? Accusing someone of being an alcoholic? We were all partying and having fun on that yacht.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was so long ago now, like old news.
Yeah.
Okay. So then they go to dinner. Bronwyn has to field a phone call from Todd, who is dealing with drama with her mom because they're closing on her childhood home. She said a friend of hers is buying it. And her mom is sort of tripping because there's a lot going on. Her dad's in memory care. They're packing up the house they've lived in forever. And that Todd, once he heard Bronwyn's mom was in distress, he flew there immediately to help. And she's crying about how generous he is and how sometimes he sucks. But this is the Todd that no one ever sees.
Yeah. Now we see it.
Right?
Now
I mean, I guess so. I mean, we know in the rear view that she didn't think it was enough and left him, but...
Yeah, in the rear view, yeah. Yeah, and if you're thinking in the rear view, you're like, well, it didn't work. But no, we finally got a little glimpse of the good spirit of Todd. I mean, to be honest, who wouldn't do this?
Right.
I mean, it sounds like this is something that a husband should do to help out his mother-in-law. But Bronwyn is kind of crying about it. She's going through a lot, I guess, that she's not letting be talked about behind the scenes. All this shit, and she wants to just have a good time. So when she comes back, she's like, that's what I'm going through, but let's not talk about it. I'm just here to have this wonderful Greek meal. And they order a digestif, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like some sort of a anise, one of those liqueurs. And Mary, the way she tastes it is that she sticks her tongue into the shot glass, and they're all like, what the hell?
It's awesome. She does so much different stuff than you would imagine. Sticking tongue in. When he's like, that's the receptor of taste buds that have the most impact. And and Mary's like, I don't care. I like licking shots and stuff. Or remember, it kind of brings to mind when she loved that Miller High Life in that cold glass.
Right.
It's like, you never know. She's going to love stuff. She's going to lick drinks. She's going to love frosted cups of Coors Light. It's just interesting. And then Brittany goes, hey, enough. She goes, where did you get that stuff about me being an alcoholic? Who told you? And then I think Lisa goes, a little birdie right. told me. And then Meredith goes, I'm the one who said it in a bath, but I won't tell you who told me. That came from the grapevine. And then Brittany goes, could it have been my roommate, Bronwyn? And then Bronwyn says in her confessional, I didn't say it like Meredith said. I just said she was drinking her ass off. I didn't say that she barfed and drank and it meant she was an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was kind of confused about what she was alluding to because she goes, I just said we shared a bathroom. So...
Bronwyn, you said that Brittany was barfing and drinking. Like, you didn't like right. Brittany. I've seen what you've done to Brittany. You're horrible to her. So the idea that you wouldn't have said that to Meredith to gain favor with her, I think is ridiculous. She definitely said something to that effect. But again, sure. You're kind of wondering why. I do not appreciate that Lisa and Meredith have now been like, well, we were the subject of scrutiny, and now we're like going in on someone else to deflect. I didn't like that at all. And then Whitney's like, oh, and then Lisa admits that she's the one who made the alcoholism accusation out of nowhere. She's the one who called her a lush alkie. And then Whitney gets to be on her high horse there, which with good reason. She's like, Lisa, what a damning, horrible accusation to make, which always Whitney loves any chance to have a moment with Lisa, any chance she can get. She wants to go toe to toe with her and immediately go sour within 1 second.
Yeah, she's like, let's not joke. That's a serious accusation. And Lisa's like, I outed Alki.
Yeah.
It was me. I outed Alki. And they're like, just because you say Alki doesn't mean it's not fucked up. And she's like, I just thought it would be like more lighthearted.
Yeah. To call her like, to say alky instead of alcoholic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I laughed, but.
Yeah. It's kind of like, what the hell is she doing? And then Heather goes, you look at Brittany over here. She's been in the Mistletones from 2012. She has IMDb credits. She was on Broadway. She's more accomplished than a lot of us. And then Bronwyn, for some reason, goes,
I know.
she goes, what the hell did you just say? I feel like Bronwyn was the only one that felt personally affected by this.
Right.
By saying like that she must have meant her, that Bronwyn has no accomplishments.
I know. I'm like, I feel like she's seemingly the least career forward of the bunch. Her career is kind of a question mark in the past, and she doesn't really talk about her business now, whereas everyone else is always talking about their business. That's like all they ever talk about. So it was weird that she was the one that cared.
Yeah, she's pissed.
Yeah. This is where there's a clip from earlier of Angie saying she fucking hates Brittany, and she goes, the lights are on, but nobody's home. And she goes, Brittany's like, the house is there, but no lights are what? And Angie's like, see, you don't even know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah, she didn't know that phrase. The lights are home. So Brittany's kind of defending herself there. And then Heather is speaking up for Brittany. Very kind of sweet that Heather, I like when someone supports a friend who's getting sort of beat up in the corner. I don't see this. I don't care about this mouthpiece who's, sometimes it's detrimental when it gets to Garcelle and Sutton level, I think. But sometimes you just want to vouch for your friend at a table. And then they all say, well, you're her mouthpiece, Brittany. The only way, you're Brittany's mouthpiece, Heather. The only way she like gets away with anything is because you're always the one sticking up for her. When he tries to say that, they say Lisa does that for Meredith. We all need to stop being mouthpieces. And then Whitney goes, actually, it's much worse, the kind of mouthpiece shit that Lisa does for Meredith. And then that's when it really erupts between Lisa and Whitney. They are like the most volatile duo in history. They hate each other so much. There's so much grudge and Lisa's like, do not talk to me like that, Whitney. And then she accidentally hits a wine glass and she has to be accident. Like, I'm not Angie throwing something. Right. I didn't do that out of duress. I actually just spilled a glass. And then the Greek server at this restaurant, it was kind of funny. He goes, okay, guess what? The restaurant is now officially closing. So I think you all need to leave. And there's no like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or dimming the lights up. He's like, you need to go now. And he doesn't leave the table till they all get it and understand that they need to leave. Yeah.
Bronwyn is like, he's kicking us out. You need to understand it. Angie's like, this is my home country, sir. And he goes, the restaurant is closed, my lady.
Yeah. Sorry you have to go now. And please don't forget anything here. Like, I don't want you all coming here. Yeah. Well,
don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Do you think they said, this is horrible to production? And they said, like, they're breaking stuff and they're screaming and we don't like this at all. And then production said, go tell them that they need to leave, because it's much more involved than just telling a table of guests to leave. There's like a whole production crew that have set up there and stuff. So they must have initiated this, like, you really need to tell them to leave. And he was not kidding. It could have sounded like he was maybe just being fun. But then at the end, he goes, thank God they left.
Right. Yeah. All of the housewives. I feel like Bronwyn was embarrassed. Angie was sort of trying to be like, no, sir, like, I'm Greek. Like, don't you understand? And everyone else was just laughing. Like, they were like, we're trash. LOL.
Yeah. It was silly. So this was just a kind of a funny episode. The whispering in the spa was really, funny. Something like I've never seen before.
I kind of get why they let it air on this holiday week when a lot of shows took a break, where I was like, this one was fine for like sort of to bridge us into the new year. Like, it was nothing crazy happening. Because, yeah, Southern Charm and Beverly Hills aren't on until the new year, but this and Vanderpump got to be on. And I was like, I kind of see why they were like, yeah, let's just put them on.
Yeah, they just gave us a little something. Yeah, especially like the Vanderpump Rules. I think definitely has that rationale for it. Yeah, so good episode, but like you said, yeah, right. Not essential to the trip to understanding things, but still kind of just a showcase for how fun these cast members are, as they always are. And then what the hell are we looking forward to next week? I got to say one thing. This is the season finale coming up, and I kind of was holding out hope that Heather was going to be like, look what was just airdropped to me in Greece.
Right.
It's the footage from the plane of Meredith shrieking at the top of her lungs, climbing on the seats, pouring wine on Brittany's head while she was sleeping. And it doesn't look like we're in for anything like that. Just a re-litigation of Meredith potentially having issues with drug and alcohol again. That's going to be the main focus of the finale, unless they're saving it, as a full surprise. But I don't know. Did it look very? I don't know. I guess Salt Lake City is so. I'm used to them having sort of a shocking finale after Monica and Reality Von Tease.
Right.
I don't think that they're really saving up anything to reveal when that like flight video would have been the, such an interesting thing for them to unveil.
True.
At the end, if they had it.
Yeah. It looked more like we get some goofy shit like Angie's cousin, which I'm like, give me all the Greek shenanigans. I'm down.
Yeah. Oh, me too. And then, yeah. So we'll see. And then maybe if there is any hope for that footage, maybe it'd be at the reunion to save it for that. Yeah. But who knows? But still, great episode. And, I'm excited to see what is coming next week. Do you want to talk about this very quickly? This episode of Vanderpump Rules called Poor Decisions. And no, not how you think it was spelled. Poor like pour a drink.
Yes. This is the 4th episode. I think we can be pretty breezy with it. The jury's still out for me on if we can get to a place where I consider it, I won't go as far as to say must-see TV, but at least good watching.
Who had must-see TV?
That was NBC.
NBC was must-see TV? Yeah. Was Friends a part of that?
Thursday night, yeah.
Must-see TV. Oh my God, that it was. Must-see TV, NBC, and then Sundays were for HBO. You could have quite a 5 days at the end of the week between must-see TV and then popping on over to HBO on Sundays.
It's true. This does not quite fall into that yet. I still think that there's some good cast, there's some fun stuff, but I'm afraid that everyone's gonna bail and that no one will watch it, and then we'll just be alone on an island.
Yeah. There was a little bit of like the week. I don't know why this happens, but the week that I took off from thinking about this new cast and then being back with them, I'm like,
yeah,
who the hell are you? And also like, why do I care? It lost a little momentum for me a little bit. And I had to reevaluate everyone for a second. And I kind of had mixed feelings about Natalie's performance, who I really liked this episode. I was like, oh, I can't stand for much of this. That whole fake freak out at the end. I was like, oh, this is not good. Natalie, I was like, I ranked you the best cast member, and this is horrible. If you were going to do this all season, I couldn't watch this for a second. I also think that not that it matters, but the reaction to the new Vanderpump Rules, I think online that I've seen is pretty bad. I went to a couple Instagram posts just to see how the testing the waters or whatever, and it was 99% unanimously bad. Get these people off my TV. Who the fuck is that? I can't watch this for 1 second. Like, and with a new show, I think there always is a little bit of that, but I was kind of stunned by how overwhelmingly negative the reaction was to this cast.
Right. Yeah, and I don't think this episode will help, but we'll get into it. It does start with alluding to Marcus again drinking on the job. He is buddy with the Sir DJ McKenna, and they were sharing vodka, and he goes, "I'm not on the clock. Like, who cares?" And I'm like, damn, like Lisa's still not gonna like that at all.
No, because in the restaurant, the beautiful inside the walls of Sir, right next to the booth. But yeah, he does take a big chug.
It's true.
And he's just sort of cozying up to McKenna because he has these DJ ambitions, which I didn't even
Apparently.
realize. Yeah.
It's true. That comes up later. We get more about Natalie's music career. And it's kind of like Natalie with her singing ambitions and Venus with his rapping ambitions. It's a little bit Lala James energy,
Yeah.
which could be fun.
Could be. Yeah. Natalie said that I liked this kind of anecdote from Hollywood. She was Millie Bobby Brown's stunt double for a while, and then she got to make out with Millie Bobby Brown's brother, Billy Bobby Brown, which I thought was awesome. And she goes, what did she say? Like, oh, it was the best kiss of his life or something. So kind of a little fun tidbit from Hollywood. And then Venus does rap, like you said, giving a little bit of James and Lala. And he says, I'm the captain of a big ship, but don't call me Peter. Bitch, I'm from the revamp, which I guess is, he's alluding to being on the reboot of Vanderpump Rules.
Right. There you go. I listened to him on Schwartz's podcast and he rapped there as well. So it's a thing.
Oh, I didn't know that until this time. Okay, this is huge for the episode. Angelica and Jason went to Barney's Beanery. I assume, what's the one that they would go to? The WeHo Barney's Beanery, which I used to go to all the time. It was so cool. So I get how much fun, why they wanted to go there. And then Jason apparently was like the belle of the ball at Barney's Beanery. He knew every, she said he knew every girl there, and he was winking and blowing kisses and spinning around in circles. He was pointing his finger around the room, and anyone he would point to was a girl he knew. And then at one point he walked over to someone and she didn't follow him. This is on a date with Angelica. And he started, all of a sudden, she closed her eyes for 20 seconds and opened them. And Jason was on the lap of someone else on their date at Barney's.
Yeah. Yeah, she accused him of being a serial canoodler. And it was almost confusing about what the hell happened. Like, he feels weird about what happened. Obviously, she feels weird about that he like ditched her and like a rando girl sat on his lap. And then he goes, what Angelica should have done is that she should have just waltzed right up to me and grabbed me by the face and made out with me. And I would have been like, hell yeah, that's mommy.
Yeah.
I was like, is this something we're saying now?
Yeah, we say it now. Yeah, I just learned this. Yeah, we say, hell yeah, that's mommy. Yeah.
It like really doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I think he might have. I'm not. It's gaining traction in my friend group. Hell yeah, that's mommy. But I don't know if he might have used it in the proper term for this one when someone grabs you by the back of the hair and gives you a huge passionate kiss to say, hell yeah, that's mommy. But I was surprised. He's kind of on the forefront of making this a thing potentially. But it is. I didn't understand what the hell. I kind of was like, this is a show, don't tell. And I was like, I need to see Barney's or else don't talk about it. Like, couldn't you have had a camera at Barney's? Couldn't have Angelica been filming you? Like, did this even happen? It was kind of confusing, and you've got to really have vested interest in Jason and Angelica for this to work. But then Jason says, Angelica, will you talk to me? Where do they talk? Not in Sir Alley. It wasn't worth going to Sir Alley for this?
I think they did go to Sir Alley.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They were on like the bench.
Oh, of course. New bench.
Also, he unfollowed her on IG?
Yeah.
Or she unfollowed him?
Yeah, he unfollowed her. I guess after she got upset, and he was like, no one who gets upset with me can be followed by me on Instagram. Kind of a huge, like, Instagram to me, unfollowing is, we've talked about this, I think. It's like the biggest thing in the world. Like, it's such a statement. It means so much to not just
do a mute.
Yeah, mute the shit out of them. You'll never see them again. You'll never think about it. They'll never know. And it kind of goes from, it's a pleasant conversation up at the start of it, but then if just to sum it up pretty quickly, he goes, we're really talking like we're boyfriend and girlfriend here. I think you're establishing yourself as pretty clingy. That's the worst thing she could ever hear. She's like, I don't even want to be in a relationship with you, so I'm going to stand up now and walk away. And it gets heated at the end, those two.
Right. Yeah. He's like, I'm not in a relationship, but I have a few options. And then I think he like says that she's an option, and she goes, well, I'm not an option. And so bye. And they are not on good terms now.
Yeah.
We also get Shane Davis on a date at Sir. He said that he loves going to Sir for dates because it's really convenient. There are multiple AA meetings on the block.
Yeah, 2 of them, 3 doors down and across the street. So he loves it. He also admits that he's trying to make Natalie a little jealous by bringing people there all the time. And then we find out that he writes screenplays.
Right. I
He
would
has-
love to see it.
Me too. He has an affinity for horror movies. And then Audrey and Chris, they actually have the only romantic chemistry I think that we're seeing. Like, I actually see hard eyes and sparks flying out of their eyes when they look at each other. Audrey comes over and she goes, "I'm moving." And he goes, "Do you need some help? I could help you." And then she goes, "Well, do you know how to do feng shui, the practice of feng shui?" And he goes, "Did you say Francois?" And she goes, "No, you don't know this concept." And he admits that he's never heard of feng shui.
Yeah, that goes into his himbo edit that he doesn't know anything about anything.
you
They
think-
play it back later.
Why do we know feng shui so much?
I know, it really is like a cultural touchstone. I feel like over the past 20 years, people talked about it a lot.
But then now I never probably said it. I never adhered to the principles of it. But like, I kind of gave him, kind of was okay with him not really knowing. Like, I don't know how old he is. But like, if you just missed the window on feng shui, I think you could have easily missed it. I know it, but I didn't really think about it too hard. I didn't think that it should have been emblematic of his stupidity when they put that up into the edit.
Yeah. It's interesting. It feels like sort of a late 90s, early aughts thing that became just part of I don't know. Yeah, I feel like sitcoms talked about it a lot, maybe.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it was getting on the sitcom radar hard. And so I knew about it. But he goes, "That sounds like a dirty, sexy, filthy movie." And she goes, "No, it's just feng shui, something that we all know about." Okay, this was good. This next scene was actually not good on Venus's part, but great on Marcus's part. Marcus is by far my favorite cast member. I don't care who knows it. He comes out and Venus is waiting for him because he wants to talk, and he goes, "What's up, Poppy?" And Venus goes, "So where do you want to begin?" Which is like, Venus, you called this meeting. You need to know where you want to begin. And he goes, "Marcus is so cool." He goes, "I don't know. You tell me, brother." And then the kid goes, hey, do you want a big sip of my martini? And can I have a swig of your cigarette? And they got this cool sort of power move at the start of their conversation where he's smoking a cigarette and drinks a sip of drink. And then he's like, "Okay, sorry. What did you want to talk about?" And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, McKenna was like his Harley Quinn. Like, she
Totally.
was like, "I'll bro you out right here."
It was really giving Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad once she gets her hands on the Joker, I guess. And then Venus says, I'm going to call Venus out. I love him so much. We met him. He was great. But he is obviously making a big meal of this thing. He's basically at the Wynn buffet at is that Caesar's Palace? It's too much.
It's at the Wynn.
Oh, sorry, I'm at the Caesar's buffet at Caesar's, not the Wynn buffet at the Wynn.
Bacchanal.
He's basically at the Bacchanal at Caesar's because he is making a meal of it. I think Marcus knows. But he's like, I guess what? I have called you out here to say I have 4 attributes in which friends that I cherish and have have as their main functions of their personality: loyalty, respect, emotional intelligence, or whatever. I was like, imagine having to adhere to your friends like 4 rules at all times. Like, I don't have any friends that adhere to any, I mean, I guess we all have internal things that we think about or whatever,
Sure.
but it's kind of lofty goals or whatever. And then Marcus is like, "You sent me a horrible text and I responded." And he goes, "Those were rage texts," Venus says.
Mhm.
And then Marcus basically goes, "What the hell is the point of the conversation?" And Venus goes, "I would like to officially defriend you. I don't want you in my life anymore." And Marcus goes, "Okay, cool. All right, bye." He doesn't give he's acting like he doesn't give a shit. Obviously,
Right.
Venus hurt him as much as Venus feels hurt by Marcus. And then they have this weird, awkward standoff where no one wants to leave first, as a sort of, like, it's a powerful thing to stay there standing
Right.
towards each other.
You go ahead.
Yeah, but then Marcus leaves. He goes, "Goodbye, buddy. I don't want to talk
Right.
to you again." And so it's over, I guess. Their friendship is over, and Venus cries about it in the confessional.
Right. more to come there. We go to Angelica's apartment. Her cat Midnight gets major airtime.
Totally. Huge new cast member, basically. Stretches on the coffee table, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, getting the main camera time. I love that. It's revealed that Angelica, because we learned before, didn't they say she has a neuroscience degree from UCLA, but now she wants to be a bikini designer?
I think so, if I remember correctly. I think so. Yeah, and she said lingerie was too hard to design, so bikinis are where she wants to go. And it looks like she said that they've been designed and they're actually out on the market.
Yeah, she needs to play her cards right to get the fans to buy them. And then Kim is over there. They're just talking about Jason. It's not that interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, did you think Jason was a little less interesting when the spotlight was on him?
Yeah, I feel like he's like out of his league.
Oh, man. Jason, I hope you're not listening to Turtle Time. We're just being honest today about Vanderpump Rules. All right, this is quick as hell, but cute. Audrey is moving to Koreatown, I believe, with two friends. Now, this really encapsulates sort of that mid-20s or early 20s, however old she is, like 21. Like early LA, move in with your friends where all our leases are done together. So I think Parker and Mary Faith and her are all going to live in a house together. Like, could you imagine? That sounds so fun if you're in your early 20s. And Chris comes and she goes, no person would ever come to help move something if he didn't want to date me. And then they get up in their room after moving a bunch of boxes and they have a very like kind of realistic moving towards each other, flirty energy where they're talking, but they just want to kiss, and then they finally do kiss on camera. And I was like, oh, this is real. I don't think you could fake that type of kissing chemistry.
Yeah, they're not that interesting, but maybe at least if they actually date, we'll have something new to see.
I like Audrey.
Yeah, she's cute. The youngest of the bunch.
Yeah.
And then, we get a check-in next with Lisa is having lunch or just sitting down with Natalie at SUR. Marcus asks if he can talk to Lisa really quick. She asks him about his grief counseling, and there is a clip, they filmed it, and he says that it was helpful. Lisa says that it was a big moment for her when she did it herself. She said, she comes from stiff upper lip culture and all that, no therapy, but she did it for her grief counseling. She said that a light bulb really went off for her. So I guess it feels like they're trying to have a string between them the way we talked about they did with Ariana and Lisa around like depression, where they just need Lisa to have an inside angle with some of these people because otherwise she's strictly their boss. And he then turns into a James Kennedy moment and he goes, well, it would help me with my grief, frankly, is if I could DJ at SUR.
Yeah. And she goes, I already had a DJ before and it was very complicated. And I was like, who is she talking about? I guess James.
Who could it be?
Yeah, she's really being like, I had a DJ in the past, but I think she anoints this. She says, as long as it's harder than you think. It's not just like going back behind the bar and thinking you could bartend, which is also hard. DJing is hard, so you need to learn. So you should look to McKenna as a mentor. I didn't know McKenna was a DJ. Remember when we met McKenna at SUR?
Right.
Who?
Right.
I had no idea.
Clue.
Bartending and a DJ. Do you like Marcus?
The jury's still out.
Really?
I don't know. I'm just like, he seems like, I can't really decide what his vibe is.
Yeah. Well, of course, we don't know him very well. I mean, I feel like I know him like kind of pretty well after meeting him at SUR, for that premiere party. But what did you think about when Jason gets a medium shirt and he has to put it on in the middle of the restaurant? I didn't know.
Yeah, what was that about?
Yeah, I didn't know what was happening there. Okay. Audrey who's having this girls' night? Kim? Was it a birthday?
I think it might be Audrey. It was split up. They showed Kim getting ready. They showed Audrey getting ready. It was just a generic girls' night that for some reason they drove all the way to Orange County to go to a restaurant and a club.
I thought about this. I said, why the hell did you all go to the OC? This makes no sense. You can obviously do a very similar night in Los Angeles where you all live.
Yeah.
I think it was specifically to have the cowgirl experience at that
Couldn't they have gone to Saddle Ranch?
totally. I thought that too, but I think maybe Audrey or someone loves that specific place, but they didn't provide enough rationale for why they went to the OC and why they were getting a big party bus. It felt like a huge splurge for all of them to go. Like in Vanderpump Rules, they'd be lucky if they got to go to Dave and Buster's in somebody's car or whatever. So like they had a full party bus and everything. And then this is when Natalie, I mean, just to kind of go through it because it's kind of a long stretch of the episode. First, quickly, Jason still sees some merit to Angelica. And so they had kind of a very kind of silly, funny, and I felt like I knew exactly what they were talking about when they were talking about crafting the perfect text. Like I think we've all been there. Like how do you say exactly what you want to say and make it perfect? So Marcus and Jason have this sort of crafting meeting where they try to get the best text out in the world to Angelica to invite her to a drink. What was very funny is that the ultimate text was so horrible. It said, hey, if you wanting to come through with Kimberly, me and Marcus have a drink, would be good to see you. And she's reading this thing. It's like, that's what you spent all that time on, crafting that text, and it had a bunch of typos and grammatical errors.
Yeah, they did a funny, for once the editing was a funny, like sort of beautiful mind swirling of the text of them putting it together, and it gave me a chuckle.
Me too. Have you been there? Have you had to craft a text like this? I mean, I definitely have.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually in some sort of a nightmare scenario where something has gone wrong and you can't say the wrong thing, or so you're trying to get out of something maybe. But I feel like on the day-to-day, I'm pretty lax on my texts.
yeah. And I try to be too. I want those low pressure texts, but I have been here before, so I related to this. And then Angelica goes, I'll give that guy Jason a try. I mean, who cares? She goes, I might be down. And then this was horrible of Natalie. I was like, oh my God, did Audrey just bump up in the ranks over you in my personal ranking? She will not let this night go by without confronting Kim in a major drunken way at a table at a nice restaurant, which I'm sure some people will be like, that's what the show is for. We got to do that kind of stuff. But it just felt like if someone is saying, no, I don't want to, and why are we doing this in front of everybody at the table, at least go outside for a second and have that private convo. And then the fact that Natalie didn't get her way and she just started screaming and crying and calling people. And Kim was just like a brick wall, not giving her anything. Didn't do anything to warrant this at all. I was like, this to me strikes me as either so fake or so overly dramatic that it's not even entertaining to watch.
Right. Yeah, everyone seems to agree that Natalie is too much. Audrey's like, it's not happening. Don't even try. Give it up. Like, I don't want to hear it. Everyone's like, all right, this sucks. Angelina tells Natalie to pause her feelings, and then they almost get into it. Like, everyone's just like, shut up.
Yeah, I thought it was brave of Angelica to say pause. And she goes, just so you know, I'm looking at you. You're the cause of all the problems. I was like, that was kind of cool that she said it right to her face. And then Natalie tries to give her, tries to fight with her. Like, you're new to the group. You don't know anything. But I was like, no one is on your side, Natalie. No one likes this. And then they're all having fun, like riding that bull at the cowboy bar. And then Natalie's just crying alone. It's like, you fully started this. This is fully just you on your own mission, crying alone, calling people. So kind of ends like that. And then next week they're going to go to the Abbey, I think.
Oh,
yeah,
very nice.
Pretty sure. So, coming back after a break, I felt like that was a little bit lackluster. I was sort of like, some of their stuff is interesting, but also you have to really kind of get up the feelings of caring about these people and what they're going through. Yeah. So we'll see. I'm not ready to write it off yet, but I wasn't too overwhelmed by the quality of that episode. But I think you and I, as you all will know, this is being recorded the day of. We never have done it. Yeah. We didn't even say it's January 2nd at the start of it's January 2nd. We're going to be releasing this within like 30 minutes. So we recorded this right now. We could have been really current with news, but there was unfortunately no news. But you and I, we've been on a break. We're tired. as hell. And so we're going to post this, get it to you so you can have it today. And then Amy and I have a lot more work to get done today. So
It's true.
so we love you all so much. I want to say in this new year of 2026, I don't know if your New Year's resolution was to start a new podcast and you're listening to this podcast for the first time. I want to say that we do have a Patreon that is available, the Turtle Time Patreon, where you can get access to a Vanderpump Rules recap series that Amy and I are doing over there if you pay a monthly amount. And then we also have a Villa Rosa Film Society tier where we talk about movies, and we've got a movie coming up very soon for January in the next couple of days, which I think will be very fun to talk about. So support the hell out of us, please.
Yes, thank you for joining us. Free support includes rating, reviewing, commenting, following us on social media, so you can do that too. But yeah, we have to go record more.
Yes, a lot more. And also next week is going to be normal, I think, again. Southern Charm in Beverly Hills on Friday, and then Vanderpump Rules and Salt Lake City on Wednesday. So you'll be like, what the hell? Nothing even changed. It's only this week that's kind of like weird. So anyway, all right, we love you all so much. I hope you're having a wonderful 2026 so far.
Bye.